Thank you once again, Chiefs Kingdom, for tuning in to Chiefs Latest. This is your one-stop spot for everything Kansas City Chiefs in 15 minutes or less. It is your host, Calvin Silvers. Happy Tuesday. You know, who would have thought it would have been the 1-2 Ravens versus the 1-2 Chiefs in week 4? I wouldn't have thought of that. I thought at least one of us would have a winning record, and the loser is going to fall to 1-3. So there's a lot riding on this game coming up. I'm going to talk about potential trade options that could help us avoid that or just avoid a spiral overall. But before I do, you guys know the drill. It does not matter what platform you are on right now. It can be YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Doesn't matter. Just take a few seconds and please hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on notifications because we have daily, that's right, daily videos here at Cheifs Latest, Monday through Friday. You're not going to want to miss any of the news, rumors, or actions regarding this team, so please hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, as it not only helps me in the channel, but it's going to help you stay up to date with everything Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I still believe that the Chiefs' defensive line, it's in desperate need of some kind of spark. This pass rush is barely making a dent, and like I said, we're going on to week 4 now. We're in the middle of the pack. We just have 7 sacks on the season. And our PFF grade, or PFF pass rush grade, it's near dead last in the league, around 30th. That's a problem when you're trying to compete for a Super Bowl, when you're 1-2 and trying to get back to a winning record. Mike Dana, who's now injured, he had 0 pressures in 47 snaps before he went down. Charles Omenihu, he's been a ghost. He just has a measly 2 pressures in 79 snaps. A brutal 38.3 PFF grade, ranking 144th out of 148 edge defenders. Not good. There's only 4 that have a worse grade than him. It's been the youth rookies, Amar Norman Lott, Ashton Gelati. Those guys are the ones who are showing some juice. Norman Lott, he picked up a sack. Gelati, he's flashing potential. I like these guys, but we can't rely on them. We can't rely on first-year guys to carry the load, especially against elite offenses that we're going to see here in this stretch or just down the stretch as well. So a trade for Giants' Kayvon Thibodeaux, that could be the game changer that we need. His explosiveness, his bend, his ability to line up wide, ability to line up inside. It'd be a nice fit for this Chiefs defense in Spags. 12 pressures, 2 sacks already this season. Plus, he had 55 pressures and 17 sacks in his last 29 games heading into 2025. This guy is a proven quarterback hunter. Last season alone, he had 38 pressures, 6 sacks in just 12 games. The Giants, we know, just faced them, gave them their 3rd loss, their 0-3 start. A future built around Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, and Brian Burns. Honestly, you might see Thibodeaux as trade bait for some draft capital, especially since he's on his 5th-year option through 2026. Beach could work the phones for Thibodeaux for sure. I think he would offer probably a 2026 second-round pick. You got to leverage the Giants' rebuilding mindset here, so they're going to want some draft capital. They're going to want higher picks. If acquired, he should be deployed as a primary edge rusher on especially early downs. Set the edge, force the quick throws, free up Chris Jones to dominate inside. It's pretty simple. So yes, the Chiefs' pass rush is stuck in neutral. We know that. But a trade for Thibodeaux, his elite upside, it could light a fire under this D-line and get us back to giving quarterbacks what I like to call happy feet. But that's not it. That's not the only option I'm bringing to the table today. You thought that's it? No, I got more. Let's switch gears and talk another way to juice up this Chiefs pass rush. But again, we're scraping by with 7 sacks, so we need something because through these 3 weeks, it's not a lot. So DJ Wonnum from the Panthers, I love saying that last name, he could be a sneaky trade target to add some heat off the edge. And he's a different flavor than a big-name ticket like we just talked about in Thibodeaux. Wonnum's a situational pass rusher. He's perfect for 3rd down, blitz packages, and like we said, Thibodeaux was better for early downs, so this guy brings some speed from the outside rather than anchoring as an every down end. He's not going to set the edge like a base DN, but his 7 pressures, 6 hurries this season, it shows he's got the quickness to at least get to quarterbacks. That's what we need. Last year, he racked up 37 tackles, 4 sacks, and 12 pressures, just in 454 snaps. he's holding his own against the run this year better than what we expected as well. So he's gaining leverage in there. So at 27, with his contract up in 2026, the Panthers, sitting at 0-3, might see him as expendable if their season keeps tanking. A 2026 fourth-round pick could get it done, especially when you consider the Browns got a fifth and a late-round swap for Zadarius Smith just last year. So Spags could plug Wonnum into sub-packages using his speed and wide alignments on third downs to complement Chris Jones' interior push. But if you want to keep the young players involved, go ahead and pair Wonnum with rookies Norman Lott and Gelati. Create a rotational pass rush package. Give them also their experience, preserving Jones' snaps and covering for Dana's injury. So Wonnum's not a headline grabber, but his situational pass rush skills, his affordable trade cost, makes him a smart pickup to spark this Chiefs D-line, especially if Carolina's season keeps spiraling. Again, it's all about how this team performs. That's going to determine whether the veteran is expendable. So they might not be ready to trade him at this very moment, especially because of now he's one of the main players on this defense. So we'll just have to see how their season goes. You thought we were going to get through a whole episode without talking about a running back trade? What? Are you crazy? Have you been listening to this podcast the past couple of weeks? Of course we're going to talk about a running back trade. But I will say, it's a little different now because it's getting spicier, folks. The Chargers might be jumping into the running back trade target. So are we in a battle? They're sitting at 3-0. Sadly, though, they just watched Najee Harris. He went down against Denver. So Jim Harbaugh is not about to let that derail their 3-0 momentum. So that means Kansas City's got competition for top backs now on the trade market, making it tougher to snag a deal from desperate sellers. I get it. Isaiah Pacheco's 45 yards against the Giants was his best game yet this season. Rashard Smith could be a future asset, but this 1-2 team needs a true explosive playmaker to keep pace for another Super Bowl. I mentioned this name recently, but there is truly 3 names that are rumored to be shopping their running backs. And I think these 3 names are at least would bring the most to the Chiefs. So we're going to revisit De'Von Achane from the 0-3 Dolphins. His 78 receptions and 592 receiving yards led all NFL running backs in 2024. So he has that elite vision. He has that big play pop out of the backfield. Miami could be rebuilding here soon. But the problem is Achane's locked up through 2026. A trade would still net them draft capital, of course, and the Chiefs need to act fast before the Chargers could swoop in. Not saying this is who they're going after specifically, but again, there could be a battle. Beach would likely have to offer a 2026 4th or 5th round pick to Miami for Achane. Again, you got to capitalize on their 0-3 skid and their potential rebuild horizon. Reid would be able just to plug him into those zone running plays, use his speed for those cutback lanes, and again, as a receiving threat. Go ahead and stress those linebackers for the opposing defenses. Complement Pacheco's power. Complement Smith's versatility. He's a perfect fit for Reid's misdirection-heavy, multi-dimensional attack, if that's where we want to go with this. The Chiefs need a backfield spark in my eyes, and Achane would elevate this offense. But now the Chargers are hunting for a running back themselves after Harris's injury. So Achane under contract with Miami for the 2026 season. It's going to be hard to get him. It's going to be a hard move for Veach to pull, but it is possible. And with our financials and cap space and what he's under, it just makes the most financial sense. All right, last topic of the day. Something or nothing with this sideline flare between Travis Kelce and Andy Reid. Again, this happened during the Chiefs' win over the Giants, and now it has everyone buzzing. It's been talked about everywhere. But I'm saying let's not blow it out of proportion. The footage of Kelce yelling and bumping into Reid went viral. But the game turned in our favor right after that. So maybe it was truly the wake-up call that this team needed in the moment. And Reid has brushed it off, saying, quote, "I love Travis's passion, man. We need more of that. He knows when to back off the pedal and when to push it too. Sometimes I have to be the policeman." End quote. That's not coach speak right there. It's Reid being real about lighting a fire under a struggling offense. Kelce's frustration, I think, is understandable. He's 35. He's not the same playmaker he once was. He's running into Worthy, making mistakes he usually doesn't. He's not syncing with Mahomes like before. And the offense in its entirety is spinning its wheels without its top weapons, without your two top wide receivers. There is more focus on him. There's not as many threats to cover, so there's more eyes on him right now. This isn't like the Super Bowl 58 bump where Kelce admitted he went too far and he knocked Reid off balance. This time it was more tame, which is why I believe this was more of a way just to spark a dead team. And with Kelce likely in his final season, he's given it his all to make it count. He still cares about the game and the team's success. So with Worthy and Rice potentially returning, Mahomes' chemistry with Kelce could be worked out. Defenses will have more eyes focused elsewhere when those two come back. So it's going to ease his workload. It's going to allow him to be effective. It's going to allow him to find the soft spot in the zone without being a main target. And his frustrations might ease up and he might be able to be more clear-headed while still being that leader. So the Kelce Reid sideline spat, it was just a sign of offensive frustration. That's the real story here. Not between those two, not that Kelce's a troublemaker. It's really that they're just frustrated with the offense. So I'm glad Reid came out with a cool-headed response, and Kelce's passion shows it's nothing serious. Again, just a spark to get the Chiefs offense moving. That's how I'm reading it, and I think that's how everyone else should too. But that is all that I have for you on this Tuesday. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you think about adding Kayvon, Thibodeaux, or what you think about grabbing DJ Wonnum. Again, I am your host, Calvin Silvers. You are listening to Cheifs Latest. Please hit that subscribe button, and until next time, have a good one.